We are back. YouTube, what is going on? I'm your host, Lawrence, here at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and today, of course, we have the breakdown. Now, if you're new to this video, what I do is I take key collectors' hot 10 list, and I break them down for everybody out there, letting you know which books I'm buying at which prices, and of course, which books I'm staying away from. Now, I remind you guys every video, if you're not a current sub of the channel, you guys are missing out on videos like this one and all the other content I put out here on the channel. With that all said and out of the way, let's get into this week's breakdown. Starting us off this week at number 10 is Something is Killing the Children, number 1, the first appearance of Erica Slaughter. 6 sales beat the average this week with a high and a graded 9.8, selling for a cool $950 and up 33% over the average. Then we had a graded 9.6, selling for $650, up 37% over that average. Something is Killing the Children has earned its 3rd appearance on the breakdown in 2025. All of a sudden, this book is back on the list and getting hot, 30% over the average in 2 grades. Do I want to own this book? If I can get a nice high-grade raw copy, I may be interested. Other than that, a 9.6 or a 9.8 is just too much coin for me to spend on a modern book. Coming in at the 9th spot this week is a mainstay on this list. It is Incredible Hulk number 340 and this classic cover by Todd McFarlane. 13 sales beat the average this week with a high and a graded 9.8, selling for $1,395, up still 35% over the average. Then we had a graded 9.6, sell for $425, up 8% over the average. And finally, we had 6 sales in a 9.4 with a high selling for $350, up 18% over the average. This week marks the 11th time in 2025, you heard that right, 11 times that Hulk 340 has made the Hot 10 breakdown. You guys hear me say it every week. I want to own this book, but there are so many copies out there. If you just get yourself a nice high-grade raw copy, you guys will save yourself a bunch of money. I just think $1,300 for a book that has been overprinted, we'll call it that, is just too much money to spend. Sticking with the Copper Age at number 8 this week is Transformers number 1, the first team appearance of the Autobots and the Decepticons in comics. 7 sales broke the average this week with a high and a graded 9.8. Get this, selling for $1,680, up an insane 80% over the average. Then we had a graded 9.6, sell for only $340, up 11% over the average. Transformers number 1 received a boost following the announcement that Skybound and Hasbro will produce an Energon Universe adult animated series. Guys, you know I'm a big Transformers fan. I love the original cartoon. I love the original G1 toys, but I'm not spending $1,000 plus on a 9.8. That is absolute lunacy to me. Even 9.6 for 300 and change is still more than I want to spend for these nostalgia books. That's what I call them. I'd rather, if I'm going to spend money, I want the G1 Optimus Prime sealed mint in box or maybe loose in box. I'll take that over this comic book any day. But if I get a nice raw copy for cheap, I'd be a buyer. The Copper Age is key at number 7 this week is Amazing Spider-Man number 301 in this iconic cover by Todd McFarlane, almost mirroring Amazing Spider-Man number 300. 8 sales beat the average this week with a high and a graded 9.8, that elusive 9.8 for this book, selling for $1,519, up 9% over the average. Next up, we had a graded 9.6, drop all the way down to $270, up 18% over the average. ASM 301 debuts on the breakdown, reaffirming the impact of the Todd Father's legendary artwork on Marvel's most beloved character. With that said, guys, you know I love this book and I love 300, but it's a lot of money to spend a 9.8 only because it's a little scarce in that grade. You still get a nice raw copy for cheap, under $100, in really nice shape. That's what I'd be buying with all Copper books, in my opinion, outside of a few here or there where I definitely want a 9.8. These other ones, don't overpay. There's just too many copies out there. Finally, at number 6, we have a Silver Age banger. It is Avengers number 1, the first team appearance and origin of the OG Avengers team. Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, Wasp, and Ant-Man. Only 4 sales beat the average this week with a high in a graded 7.5, selling for $11,100 and up 3% over the average. Next up, we had a graded 6.0 sale for $5,601, up 4% over the average. And lastly, a graded 3.5, selling for $2,880, up 10% over the average. This is the third time in 2025 that Avengers 1 makes the breakdown. Now, with that said, you guys know I'm a big Silver Age Marvel comic fan, but I want to own all the big boys first. AF-15, Jim 83, Tales of Suspense 39, all those big boys before I get down to the Avengers #1. Doesn't mean I don't want to own it. For the right price, I 100% do. For me, do I want to own the book? Yes, I'm giving it a thumbs up. Just make sure it's the copy you want to keep in your collection for the long term, and you have all those other big books first. That's the key. Back-to-back Silver Age at number 5 this week, one of my faves. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 50, the trifecta, the first appearance of the Kingpin, the classic cover by the GOAT John Romita Sr., and an iconic storyline, Spider-Man No More. 6 sales beat the average this week with a high in a graded 8.0, selling for $2,470 and only up 1% over the average. Next up, we had a graded 7.5 sale for $1,999, up 11% over that average. And finally, a graded 5.0, selling for $765 and up 6% over the average. The trifecta lands on the breakdown for an impressive 11th time in 2025. You guys know me if you watch my channel religiously. I absolutely love this book, this cover, this story, and of course, John Romita Sr. Of course, I have to own this book. But keep in mind, there are a lot of copies out there. So if you're a Spider-Man fan, you got to own the book. If you're not, I got a question why you're buying it right here, right now. Back to the modern age at number 4 this week is Invincible #1 and the first appearance of Invincible. 7 copies beat the average this week with a high in a graded 9.8, selling for a whopping $5,220, up 18% over the average. We also had record sales in a 5.5 for $500 and 2 limited editions and a 9.2 and a 9.0 that sold for $455 and $300, up 36% and up 20% respectively. This week marks the 12th time that Invincible #1 earns a spot on the Hot 10 Breakdown. I tell you guys, every time this book is on this list, it is super hot right now, one of the hottest books on the market. But $5,000 for a 9.8, I know there's only like 3,000 copies available of the #1 issue, but still, to me, just too hot to handle right now. I'm waiting for this book to cool off and then pull the trigger on a really nice high-grade copy, but only for the long term. Rounding out the top 3 this week is a book we have not seen in quite some time. It is Fantastic Four number 50 and this iconic cover by Jack King Kirby. This is also the 3rd appearance of the Silver Surfer and the 2nd appearance of Galactus. 7 sales broke the average this week with a high in a graded 9.0, selling for a crazy $3,000, but flat against the average. Next up, we had a graded 8.0 sale for $1,200, up 10% over that average. And finally, a graded 6.5, selling for only $429 and up 16% over the average. FF number 50 makes a rare appearance on the breakdown, and it's the 3rd time so far this year. With that said, guys, if you're going to own FF books, the Silver Surfer books, I want to own 48, 49, and 50, all 3 books to have in the collection, but they have been abundant over the past couple of years. Everybody out there has been putting their copies up for sale. So I do think if you get yourself a nice raw copy on all 3, you're always going to get a better deal. And if you look up on the CGC census, you're going to see a lot of copies have already been graded. Climbing its way to number 2 this week is Batman number 423 and this classic cover by who else? Todd McFarlane. 12 sales beat the average this week with a high in a graded 9.8, selling for $1,700 and up 3% over the average. Then we had a graded 9.6, sell for only $450, up 8% over the average. For the 5th time in 2025, McFarlane's Batman makes the Hot 10 Breakdown. We all know why this book has been on this list for the past month or so. It is because of that original art that went up for sale that didn't quite reach what we thought it would, $1 million. Regardless, the book is still hot. With that said, 9.8 I think is really overpriced. $400, $450 and a 9.6 I'm okay with. But if you can get yourself a nice high-grade raw copy, you're always going to get the best bang for your buck. I love McFarlane, but some of these books are a little overpriced. And holy shit, at the top spot this week, out of nowhere, It is Absolute Batman #1, the premier issue of an ongoing series in the Absolute Universe. 19, you heard that right, 19 sales beat the average this week with a high of a second print design variant graded in a 9.8, selling for a crazy $899 and up 5% since just this past October. We also had a standard 9.8 sell for $220, but get this, up 98% over the average. This is absolute insanity. I know Absolute Batman is super hot, but to pay $900 for a variant and a 9.8 seems absolutely crazy. I'm all on board. If you want to get an Absolute Batman 1, the standard 8 cover for a decent price, go ahead, get one, add it to the collection. But you want to pay 98% over the average? I don't know about that one, guys. I'm hearing the story is awesome, but I think somebody overpaid. Hope you guys enjoyed another week, another list. A lot of great books. I'm happy to see finally some Silver Age books on this list. Great books regardless. But it is now time for what I call my best buy of the week, where I go through all 10 books and say, which book would I want to own on this list no matter what? And it's a toss-up for me between ASM number 50 and Avengers #1. I think if you're a Spider-Man fan, you're going to go the ASM 50 route. If you're not, go with the big boy, Avengers #1, the first team appearance of the Avengers. You cannot go wrong. I said before, I'd rather own the individual appearances first. I think that's the way to go if you're a collector, but if you have all those, or maybe you don't have the coin to go after them, Avengers #1 is a nice consolation prize. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics Collectibles saying thank you for watching, happy collecting, and I'll talk to you guys soon.